Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Destination Cleveland's 2019 annual meeting. Please welcome to the stage the chairman of Destination Cleveland's Board of Directors, Dan Walsh.
Welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for coming today to this incredible venue we have. One of the most storied places in our city, the Agora. Didn't they do a spectacular job renovating this place? On behalf of our terrific board of directors and the wonderful staff at Destination Cleveland, we wanted to welcome all of you here today. It's been another terrific year for travel and tourism. We want to thank you all for being part of it. You've really helped tourism and travel to become one of the greatest economic generators here in our city, and we continue to experience great momentum, which we're going to talk about in a moment. As you probably know, our mission is to drive growth in travel and tourism by improving perceptions, attracting visitors, and managing the destination experience. We deliver on this mission through action and results. Our job is to trumpet to the world about Cleveland's world-class attractions, hotels, events, and our organization had a tremendous year in 2018. You may recall a few years ago, we launched and set a vision to attract 20 million visitors by 2020. Travel and tourism is still on a roll, and we're well on our way towards that goal. Again, for the 8th year in a row, Cleveland outpaced the nation and the state in attracting tourists on a percentage basis. We're up to 18.5 million visitors annually. Our tourism spending increased to $5.8 billion. Our tourism economic impact is now $8.8 billion. Our employment base here in the tourism sector has now expanded to more than 68,000 jobs. That's great. You probably ask, what's driving these great results? As you might recall, a couple years ago, about 5 years ago, we really just redid our entire brand. And through that redo of that brand and leveraging it, and through the work with our integrated brand marketing and media relations, now we're reaching 1.4 billion people internationally and nationally and in our target cities. So you probably don't see it as much here. You see it in Chicago and Detroit and Pittsburgh and Philadelphia. And that's who's seeing this message across the world. And that's one of the things that's absolutely driving our success. So what that's done is driven a large amount of leisure tourism, which is terrific, and that's what's the core of our results. With the new convention center, we're looking to drive new convention business and have had tremendous success. We've seen an 18% increase in room night bookings and nearly 300,000 future room nights already booked into the 2020. So our team at Destination Cleveland is working on filling rooms into the 2020s and absolutely leveraging that resource, and we're doubling down on it. Our board talks about it, our team talks about it, and they're executing on those results. Our lead volume also remains strong as we continue to work with different convention planners to make sure that they have Cleveland on their list as their next stop. We also have tapped Clevelanders. This place is full. It looks awesome, by the way. All of you care about this industry, and you're here today, and you've absolutely helped make this a success. Last year, we launched our Cleveland Experiences program, which helps all of you identify your authentic Cleveland experience where you can leverage the assets we have and communicate it out as well to people who want to visit our city. We also organized and helped conduct a listening and learning tour over last year with over 400 individuals from 250 different organizations to make sure they knew what our brand was about and the power of it, but also we were getting feedback saying, gosh, we know what your brand is about. How can we use it to do other things to help our businesses, whether it's attracting talent? We know that it resonates with a lot of people that we're trying to attract here to work for our company. So that's one of the things that we've done to collaborate, to take the brand beyond just attracting visitors for a weekend trip, but also to help populate our companies. Because of the success and the strength of the brand and our ability to get things done, we also get called on to do a lot of special projects. The most recent of which was the Blockland Solutions Conference, which occurred in December. The entire Destination Cleveland team worked very hard to make sure that this really pulled off a miracle. In only 4 months, they were able to put together a world-class conference attended by 1,400 attendees who then delivered a 98% positive experience rating for their experience here. It was an absolute Herculean effort that would have normally taken 18 months for any normal group to put on a convention like that, but because of the experience and dedication of this tremendous team led by David Gilbert, they were able to pull that off, which is truly remarkable. I think because of that reputation, it's really, Destination Cleveland gets things done. It's become a pillar of economic growth for our city. We also know, given the size of this room and the fact that it's completely filled, that the Cleveland community understands the importance of what we do and how we should work together. We want to recognize some particular individuals for their contributions last year who really stood out, as we like to do at these meetings every year. So in 2012, we launched the Cleveland Champions Award, which honors Clevelanders who collaborate to bring meetings that have huge economic impact and influence in our city. This year, our Cleveland Champions Award winner is a pair of our region's finest law enforcement officers. Lieutenant Charles Lobello, Second Vice President of the Ohio State Chapter of the FBI National Academy Associates, and Sergeant David Tomcho, Third Vice President of the Ohio State Chapter of the FBI National Academy Associates. They played a very pivotal role in the city's selection to host the 2022 FBI National Academy Associates Annual Conference right here in Cleveland. Because of their efforts, we're going to have 2,000 attendees, booking over 5,500 room nights. The economic impact will be $2 million, just through the great effort of these two individuals who saw an opportunity to work with us and bring that conference here. Lieutenant Lobello and Sergeant Tomcho, if you'd please stand up, we'd love to recognize you for your efforts. Thank you. Thank you very much. We also have another award called the Hospitality Star Award, and it goes to a community member for superior hospitality. So on the one hand, the Champions Award brings a huge convention, but it's also the little things that all of us do on a daily basis to interact with visitors that really make a huge difference. So we had thousands of different nominations for people for this award, and we were able to boil it down to 3 finalists for the Hospitality Award. Dennis Garia of Ronald McDonald House, Carl Dowdell of Doubletree of Hilton Downtown, and Ed Satterfield of Company Car and Limousine. And we want to thank all of them for going above and beyond to offer their true hospitality. Thank you. There was one who stood out, though, and it's Carl Dowdell, who's our winner of the 2019 Hospitality Award. So we talked a little about the little things people did. What he did was big in the eyes of one of our tourists here who actually was at the clinic. The family had suffered a tragedy, and he was shuttling them back and forth to the Doubletree. And during that time, really, gave a sympathetic ear and listened, so much so that the guest called him the angel named Carl. And now he's really part of their family. So thank you for making our visitors welcome and making the difference you made. I feel very lucky to be part of an organization, that makes such a difference in our community, and really to represent our tremendous board of directors who are here today and whose names you see on the screen behind me. They've been a huge part of the success and growth of the industry and the counsel that they give to the Destination Cleveland team. We also, through the Listening and Learning Tour, met a lot of new people who had a passion for what we do, and we've added 8 new board members to our team this year, and I want to recognize them. Dr. Akram Boutros, President and CEO of Metro Health System. David Heller, President and CEO of NRP Enterprises. Michael Jeans, President and CEO of Growth Opportunity Partners. Brenda Kirk, founder of BKK Consulting Group. India Pierce Lee, Senior Vice President of the Cleveland Foundation. Kim Riley, President of Highland Insurance. Sean Riley, no relation, President of McDonald Hopkins, and Harlan Sands, the President of Cleveland State University. So just really to wrap up, I really feel very lucky to be part of such a great organization. Destination Cleveland is a convener and a collaborative leader of all the major community initiatives in this town. Our success plus our ability to deliver on our mission means we get more and more requests to do more. And I'll just promise to all of you here that we're poised to help leverage the renewed sense of optimism and in our community that we can feel right now and really help that drive that long-term growth. But most importantly, we'll remain focused on our mission to help ensure a more positive future, to harness the power of the 18.5 million visitors that come to our community every year. I want to thank you all again for coming today. We're delighted you're part of this, and there's plenty of room in the mosh pit up here in case anybody gets pretty excited about tourism. And with that, thank you. Appreciate it.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Destination Cleveland's President and CEO, David Gilbert.
Thanks, everybody. Wow, it is awesome to be here in this beautifully restored, historic concert venue. What a great packed house. Appreciate so many of our partners, our board, so many elected officials. Just really thank you for taking the time. It has been an amazing year, as Dan pointed out, and great to see the highlighting of another great year of growth in our city's travel and tourism industry, another great year of growth for our organization. 1 + 1 = 2. This is a simple formula that all of us learn growing up in school. Learning is fact. But the fact is, it's not always true, and our community at times has proven it. We've seen some difficult times, some difficult years, some difficult decades of challenging economic times, population loss, living with the unflattering things that people around this country have said about us. Many people wrote us off. And this pressure has oftentimes led to organizations, people in the community not working together, trying to hold on to their piece of a shrinking pie. But in recent years, we've started to see a lot of change. And we've shown that hard work, resilience, and tenacity absolutely pays off. Just think of what we accomplished 2 short years ago when Cleveland hosted the Republican National Convention. We won an incredibly hard-fought national battle that nobody but our community thought we could win, and we hosted it in a way that nobody thought we could. And all that happened because we did it together. We have a choice. We can make 1 + 1 = less than 2, or we can make 1 + 1 = more than 2. And as a fundamental, we are all just ones. Everyone in this room, some bigger, some smaller, but we're all just ones. Destination Cleveland, we're just a one. What this community needs more of is for our ones to do a better job of banding together to help, to support, and to trust one another. And the truth is, none of us in this room can grow to be more than a one, but collectively, we can make our ones become much, much bigger. This is a vision I want to talk about today, a vision Destination Cleveland is prepared to lead, and we will do this by harnessing the power of the visitor. So what does Destination Cleveland do? You heard a lot from what Dan said, and there's really three main things we do. We attract people to Cleveland, we change perceptions of Cleveland, and we enhance the visitor experience. Through research, strategy, partnerships, and hard work, we've done it really well. We've seen significant growth in all that we do, particularly by how our industry measures success. Visitor volume, dollars spent, jobs created and supported, taxes generated, hotel stays, conventions held, and perceptions of Cleveland at a national, a regional, and a local level. All of this growth is above the national average. Travel and tourism is a growth industry in Cleveland, and who would have thought we could possibly say that 10 years ago? But it's very true. We've created a brand that works, a brand that resonates, that changes minds, and that elicits action. Our brand captures who we are as a community and tells that story in a compelling way that stands out from our competitors. All of this annual incremental growth is tremendous for our community, but it's not enough. But we are poised as a community for exponential growth, and we will do this by harnessing the power of the visitor. So think about this. Cleveland is a branded product. It's a product for which we have a true love and a true passion. When people try our product, our community as a visitor, we win. Dollars are spent, taxes and jobs are created. In 2017, as Dan pointed out, that number was 18.5 million visits. Those visitors spent $5.8 billion. They supported 68,000 jobs. By the way, that's up from 5,000 jobs just 5 years prior. 5,000 brand new jobs in our community because of travel and tourism. And those visitors generated over $1 billion in Cuyahoga County taxes. This rate of growth has been above the state and national average for 7 straight years. And these are very powerful numbers by how our industry judges success. By those measures, Destination Cleveland and this community are very successful, but it's not good enough. All it's doing is growing our one. So let's think about our success in a different way. When people see our brand marketing, their likelihood of visiting Cleveland increases greatly. But additionally, they're also 2 to 3 times more likely to want to work, to invest, and to live in Cleveland. When people make that visit to Cleveland, their perception of Cleveland increases dramatically. They rate our product, our city, far better than how they rated our image. So we're now on the way to approaching 20 million annual visits. And that's up from just 14 million visits only 8 years ago. And included in that are millions of new, unique visitors to Cleveland each year. Yet the value of these visitors are measured only by the dollars they spend. Very important, but they're only measured by the dollars. The fact is, they are users of our product. They've sampled our wares, and they've given our product a chance. Think of this as having millions of first dates each year. That's what this is. That creates an unbelievable opportunity for our community. During the past year, so much has been publicly and loudly discussed about Cleveland falling behind in our economy, talent attraction, IT industry, population, and more. And these aren't a problem, they're a call to action. They are absolutely a call to action, and now is the time. And we can and we will harness the power of the visitor, the customers we have coming to this town, to target these issues. So imagine, if you will, when people come to visit, imagine that we know who they are, that we convert them to be repeat customers of our product, our community, hopefully a product for life. So I'd like to introduce you to Tove and Jerry Shear, world-class triathletes who spent the past 35 years living in New Mexico. Tove and Jerry were here just this last August to compete in the U.S. Triathlon National Championships held at beautiful Edgewater Park. By the way, they actually both qualified for the World Championships, and they will be representing the U.S. in Lausanne, Switzerland this summer. But an amazing thing happened when they came to Cleveland to try our product. They fell in love with Cleveland. They fell in love with our city, our neighborhoods, our people, our affordability. So much so that they already sold their house in New Mexico, they bought a new house in Cleveland, and they're on their way to Cleveland being their full-time retirement residence. Tove and Jerry, would you please stand up and be recognized and let our city welcome you? So also funny, Jerry bought Tove a Script C custom-made necklace for Christmas. So that's outstanding. And that, ladies and gentlemen, that is harnessing the power of the visitor. So let's imagine another. Let's imagine further targeting our meetings and conventions, not just to fill hotels, which they do, not just to generate spending, which it does, but business events targeted to Cleveland's most meaningful industries. And imagine further targeting individuals who come to those meetings and conventions to personally experience and connect to our city in a way that leads to future talent, future investment, and future growth in our city. So let me make another introduction to Josh Thompson. Josh is a venture partner at Human Ventures in New York and CEO of Onward Labs in New York. And Josh came to Cleveland for the Blockland Solutions Conference just a couple months ago. And he came for an interesting reason. Josh came here to find good Midwest IT talent and take them back to New York. And I will tell you, he has a very interesting background. In addition to his business, Josh worked for then Newark, New Jersey Mayor Cory Booker. He worked as a director of education for Bridgeport, Connecticut, and recently was a mayoral candidate for the city of New York. Just a pretty great and driven guy. But he came here to take that. Talent back to New York, and a funny thing happened. He loved Cleveland. He met some great people. Met some people at Team Neo, at Jumpstart, at Cleveland Clinic, and others. As a result of coming here for the conference, instead of deciding to attract talent and move it to New York, Josh decided he's going to be opening up a branch of his business in Cleveland instead, and keep that talent here and grow it here. Josh, could you please stand up and be welcome to Cleveland? Thank you, Josh. That is harnessing the power of the visitor. So imagine a visitor attraction strategy. It's brand, it's marketing, it's communications, it's customer service that works tremendously well to influence people to visit and enjoy their experience here. Add to that the fact that 76% of job seekers want to experience their new city firsthand before they'll even consider taking a job in a new city. Now imagine that visitor strategy taken another step to strategically and systematically target and connect our meetings, our conventions, our major events, and the visitors to those, to connect them to the right partners in town to convert them into so many more Toves and Jerrys and Joshes. That is what we're going to do, and that is harnessing the power of the visitor. And these things are coming. Destination Cleveland has built the skills and the expertise and the knowledge to do this. In our 6-month-long learning and listening tour that Dan spoke of, we were repeatedly asked to engage in many of these things on behalf of the community. Our organization has the drive and the passion to do this, and we think big. We study models in other cities around the world in these areas, and where we haven't seen them, we're building them. We've created pilot projects with partners all over the community, many of which we talked about in detail at last year's annual meeting, and we're testing these big ideas. We're retooling our organization to aggressively be able to better advance this work. We are driven by a deep passion for this community we love, but even with all of this, we are just a one. We will be working to band together with other ones around the community to best advance not Destination Cleveland's agenda, but this community's agenda. And we ask the same of everybody in this room. Our attractions, our hotels, our venues, our community organizations, consider the value and the importance of working together. We have such incredible assets, incredible people, and an incredible spirit in this city. Let's connect and elevate them to show the world what we have. Let's create a new vision. Let's all work together to make 1 + 1 and show the world that we know how to make 1 + 1 equal more than 2. Thank you very much. Again, we are so thrilled that you came out here today. There is a lot more, probably the better part of the afternoon is the food and the drink and the music. Again, we want to thank the Agora, this amazing facility. We want to thank our sponsors, our prime sponsor for our annual meeting, Fox Sports Ohio, and Sports Time Ohio, Alex Slemsick and the whole group. Wonderful friends, great to work with. So many other tremendous sponsors you see behind me. And again, thank you all for taking the time to come out. I want to really do 2 other significant thank yous. One is to our Board of Trustees. Many of you are down here. It is just know how much the support and guidance means to me, means to the staff, and what an incredibly important part of the advancement of this organization that you play. And to our staff, you cannot find a group of people more passionate about this community and what they do. They are incredibly talented, but what's behind it is an absolute love for this city that drives everything that they do. Finally, I have a little plug. So March 20th through 24th is Be a Tourist in Your Hometown weekend, a first that we're doing, leading to Visit Me in CLE weekend, June 21st through 23rd. What we're doing with this is, it is all about, I have a little prop to show you. It is all about how do we activate that 77% of people in our community who say they would invite their friends and family to visit. How do we get them to better know their community and actually invite those friends and family to come? So you'll see these very fun postcards out in the lobby. Ask you to take them with you, fill them out, send them to your friends and family, and invite them all to Cleveland. Again, thank you so much for being here. Please stick around for some great music and food and drink, and look forward to working with so many of you in the coming year. Thank you.